Traditional martial arts did not make you safer, they make you comfortable, and comfort gets people hurt. Comfort is the most dangerous habit you can train. Tonight we expose the Dojo Delusion. That dojo you feel so safe in, the one with the polished floors and the scent of discipline, it might be the most dangerous place you have ever trained. Not because of the risk of a stray punch or a bad fall. It's dangerous because it's lying to you. It's building a sense of security on a foundation of sand, programming you for a world that doesn't exist outside those walls. Let's be clear, comfort is not competence. Competence is the ability to function effectively under extreme duress, when your fine motor skills have vanished and your opponent is not playing a game. Traditional classes feel effective because your partners behave. They are your collaborators in a choreographed dance, not your adversaries. They give you the perfect angle, the expected energy, the clean reaction. You see it in every class. Predictable attacks, respectful pauses, compliance on cue. Your partner attacks exactly as instructed, stops when you've completed your move, and resets for the next repetition. In this sterile environment, your nervous system is learning a dangerous lesson. It's learning to stay calm in situations where panic, or at least a massive adrenaline surge, would be the natural and necessary biological response. Call it what it is, a confidence bubble. And the most dangerous thing about a bubble is that you don't know you're in one until it pops. In the dojo, the sequence is clean. Step in punch, block, counter, freeze, reset. Reality is a chaotic storm, a violent charging entry, a desperate clinch, screaming slipping on an unseen patch of wet pavement, and the sudden realization of multiple threats. Your drills have no adrenal dump. Your body has never felt the tunnel vision, the auditory exclusion, the sheer overwhelming flood of fight or flight hormones that a real threat induces. There is no broken rhythm. Real fights are ugly, offbeat, and full of interruptions. Your perfect timing is useless when your opponent stumbles, grabs, or does something completely illogical. And there is no resistance escalation. Your partner doesn't start at 20% and ramp up to 100% with murderous intent. They don't try to gouge your eyes when their arm is caught. Forms teach beauty, precision, and discipline. Violence teaches survival. One is an art, the other is a brutal biological event. Repetition without chaos creates false pattern recognition. You're learning to recognize the signal for a technique, not the raw, unpredictable indicators of genuine human aggression. Attackers don't announce their attacks with a formal stance. They use deception, distraction, and overwhelming speed. They don't stop after one technique works or fails. They will continue their assault relentlessly until you are neutralized or they are. And they don't play by your rule set. There are no illegal targets, no timeouts, no referees. The environment itself is a weapon. Walls, curbs, parked cars, and it can be used against you. Here is the hard truth. The street does not care what rank you are. Your black belt is a symbol of your dedication to a system, not a certificate of invincibility. Traditional martial arts are not dead because they are old. They hold immense value in discipline, philosophy, and physical conditioning. They are dying because they refuse to evolve. They cling to dogma and reject the messy, inconvenient, and brutal lessons that reality is trying to teach. If your training only works when you are calm, respectful, and unafraid, it does not work. The street is a different universe. Adrenaline creates tunnel vision. You lose fine motor control, memory gaps and time distortion, controlled intensity, predictable escalation. Your body will betray every technique you practice calmly. No one squares up, no referees, no warnings, hidden weapons, friends jumping in, uneven footing, walls, cars, curbs. Fair fights exist only in training halls. Tight spaces kill wide techniques. Slippery ground ruins balance. Noise and crowds spike panic. You do not control distance, timing, or escalation. Technique does not fail. Context does. A flawless move you cannot access under stress is just choreography. Traditional martial arts are not evil. They are incomplete for modern violence. The clean, quiet dojo is a laboratory, not the street. Calm, compliant drills create a dangerous illusion of competence, a false confidence that shatters on first contact with real violence. Because reality isn't compliant, it's an adrenal storm. Your heart rate skyrockets, your vision narrows to a pinhole, and your fine motor skills, the ones you perfected in those delicate joint locks, evaporate. This is called stress inoculation. You must get familiar with this state. So, introduce stressors systematically. Start by adding verbal aggression to physical engagement. An attacker won't be silent. They'll use intimidation to psychologically dominate you before they even lay a hand on you. Then add time pressure. Forced decision-making in fractions of a second. Hesitation is a luxury you can't afford. You must train to the point of failure. If you've never failed under pressure in the gym, you haven't found your limits. And the street is the worst possible place to discover them for the first time. This means you must dump the fantasy of one-step sparring and cooperative telegraphed grabs. These are choreography, not conflict. Instead, train for non-compliant scenarios. What if the attacker is bigger? What if there are two of them, or three? Your goal is never domination, it's escape. Create an opening and get out. Use your environment. A wall isn't just a wall, it's something to drive an opponent into. A car is an obstacle to put between you and them. A crowd can be cover. Train in stairwells, parking lots, and tight hallways. And crucially, you must understand the legal and ethical consequences. Self-defense ends the second the threat is neutralized. Know the laws on proportional force and your duty to retreat. A perfect wrist lock means nothing if you miss the second attacker running up behind you. Situational awareness trumps technical perfection every single time. This is why you cross-train. You need wrestling for clinch control and takedowns. You need boxing for footwork, timing, and distance management. You need jiu-jitsu to survive the chaos if you end up on the ground. And you must assume weapons are always in play. Train to recognize, avoid, and create distance. Reality does not care about your lineage, your belt color, or the ancient master whose picture hangs on the wall. Stress testing beats tradition worship every time. So you have to choose. Are you training for a museum, or are you training for survival? Traditional martial arts are not dead, but unprepared martial artists are. Next, how to tell if your dojo is training you for survival or just selling you a costume. Traditional martial arts did not die in a fight. It died in the student's head. It wasn't a failure of technique, but a failure of context. A slow, creeping complacency that mistook the controlled environment of the dojo for the chaotic reality of the street. This created a dangerous illusion of competence, a false sense of security that crumbles at the first sign of genuine, unpredictable violence. Rank does not equal awareness. A black belt doesn't grant you peripheral vision or the ability to read a room's social temperature. Forms do not equal decision-making. The elegant, prearranged dance of a kata is a world away from the split-second, life-altering choices you have to make when confronted by a non-compliant threat. If your training depends on both participants consenting on a predictable attack from a known partner, it has already failed you. Real violence doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't follow a script. It is messy, asymmetrical, and utterly indifferent to your training pedigree. Look around you. Eyes down, locked on a screen. Tunnel vision, focused only on the destination. Zero environmental scanning. This is the default state for most people, a state of blissful ignorance that makes them a perfect target. They are lambs walking willingly into the wolf's den, completely unaware the door has just closed behind them. True self-protection begins long before any physical contact. It's the discipline to read body language, to notice the shift in posture, the clenching jaw, the target glance. It's the skill to identify pre-attack cues, the grooming gestures, the flanking movements of a group. It's the foresight to see escape routes before you need them. If the first time you look around is after the punch lands, your training was useless. The fight was lost before it even began. You were ambushed by your own inattention. Real fighters avoid fights. Real survival is not cinematic. It's often the quiet, unglamorous decision to cross the street, to leave the bar, to swallow your pride and walk away. The greatest victory is the one no one ever hears about. This is the art of de-escalation. Verbal control to diffuse a situation. Distance management to create a buffer of time and space. And most critically, ego suppression. The need to be right, to have the last word, has put more people in the hospital than any fancy technique. The stakes are higher than a bruised ego. Think about the legal consequences of a street fight, even one you win. Consider the reality of multiple attackers, or the weapons you never see until it's too late. The most dangerous mindset is believing you must win every encounter. This isn't a sport. There are no weight classes, no referees, and no rules. The only goal is to get home safely. This is the chasm between dojo confidence and street panic. One is built on predictability, the other is defined by chaos. The skills that truly matter are internal, emotional control to manage the adrenaline dump, adaptability to solve problems you've never seen before, the ability to make sound decisions under crippling fear. If your mind freezes when things go wrong, your body does not matter. Your strength, your speed, your black belt, they are all useless if the operating system crashes. So, no, traditional martial arts aren't dead for lack of techniques. They neglect the mind. They fail to inoculate the student against the psychological shock of real violence. Belts measure attendance and compliance within a system. Awareness measures survival in an unpredictable world. One is a symbol, the other is a skill. Do not confuse the two. You must become a scientist in your own self-defense. Question everything. Test your assumptions. Keep what survives pressure and discard the rest no matter how sacred it seems. Your life may depend on it. Training is always cooperative. Techniques only work when partners comply. Sparring avoids pressure or consequences. Questions are disrespectful. Rank protection. Instructor infallibility. When failure isn't accepted in your dojo, real life will teach you those lessons. Add resistance to every drill. Train under fatigue and time pressure. Stress test against non-compliant partners. Introduce unpredictability. Grappling, striking, clinch. Weapons awareness. If training cannot be assessed, it is fundamentally unreliable. Shift. Looking skilled to being capable. From perfection to adaptability. Real martial arts prepare you for failure and teach you to recover. Traditional martial arts are not dead. Stagnation is. Audit your training. Question everything. Keep what survives pressure. Remember, if your art can't truly live and breathe in chaos, then it won't live at all. Subscribe for the unfiltered truth your comfortable dojo won't ever tell you. Want more? Select a video on your screen and I will see you there.